Hello, friends. We have the whiteboard back. We're doing a whiteboard war. It's Andrew Spade with David Bray. Doesn't get much bigger than number 1 Penn State hosting number 2 Iowa at the Bryce Jordan Center this Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on the Big Ten Network. 19 ranked wrestlers, David, top to bottom. Some of the best in college right now, starting with a guy going for his 3rd Hodge and 4th NCAA title, Spencer Lee. Do you see this going any other way? Gary Steen, tough kid, but Spencer Lee is just dominating right now.
He's on a pinning spree. A pinning spree. It's better than a streak. It's just a pinning spree. People are getting slayed by Penn. And it's going to happen right here. 6 points, Spencer Lee.
Can't argue with that. He's pinning guys in the top 5, top 10. He's looking absolutely unbeatable at 6 points for me in the blue there. Going on to 133, another number 1 ranked wrestler, Roman Bravo Young, taking on Brody Teske, number 12. That's a ranked win, but looks like Roman's got the is going to be the favorite here.
Definitely the favorite. These two guys are close. Roman said in an interview that Teske spends summers with him, so they're tight. Can he keep the score tight as well? That's going to be the big question. I think he does. I think it's just going to be 3 points RBY. Teske holds it to a decision.
Yeah, I'm going to be conservative here too. 3 points RBY for a familiar opponent in Brody Teske. Bringing us to 141. Look at this, number 2 and number 3. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Bo Bartlett for Penn State and Real Woods, transferred from Stanford, out on the mat now for Iowa. Where do you see this one going?
I think this is very possible. 1 takedown match. It could go either way, but I'm leaning towards Real Woods. He's looked very, very good. He can win that tight 1-point match, or he's got the potential to look for back points, that kind of thing. I don't think it's how it goes. I think it's like 3-2, and I think Real Woods gets the victory and puts 3 more on the board for the Hawkeyes.
I think you're right on. Low-scoring bout. Could go either way. Bo Bartlett is definitely going to be right there with him, but I think it's maybe even an overtime win, but I got Real Woods as well, so we pretty much all agree for the first 3. These are going to be crucial for Iowa because Penn State's got some hammers coming up, but first we have another potential toss-up on paper. It's pretty close. Max Murin for Iowa, number 12, Shane Van Ness. What do you think here?
There are going to be points in this match where it's going to look like Shane Van Ness is going to win, but I think Max Murin pulls it out. I'm going with the veteran with the experience. Could easily see Shane Van Ness pulling it off. I just think Murin, a little more seasoned. Give me 3 for Good Murin America.
Good Murin America. Max Murin has battles every week. The Big Ten is just so gnarly at this weight class. He had Yaya last week. Now he's got Shane Van Ness. I think Van Ness a little bit fresher maybe. I don't know. Murin I love watching too, but I'm going with the kid from New Jersey. It's 3 points here, so that gets it closer. But now we have another very interesting matchup on paper. Number 14, Kobe Seabrick, and number 12, Levi Haynes. But there's a twist here because Levi could still redshirt. He still has the potential to redshirt, or they could tear that off and say he's going now. Terrell Bearclaw, the other wrestler for Penn State, who could go very tough, but I think Levi gives them a little bit better chance to win. So what do you think?
I mean, Levi Haynes did prove last week against Michigan that he's ready to contend for All-American honors. He beat Will Luan. If those two wrestle, I think Levi's probably the favorite, although Seabrick, total wild card, he could throw him. I tend to think they're going to go with Bearclaw to keep Levi Haynes' options open. So I'm going to go with Seabrick over Bearclaw, 3 more for the Hawks at 157, which for me gives them a huge lead headed into the break.
Yeah, that's going to be huge to get the momentum on the Hawks side there. Seabrick reminds me of a Chrysler Sebring, great car. I think they roll Levi out there. There's no point in holding on to that red shirt, so I'm going 3 points for the guy that just took out, as you mentioned, Will Luan just last week. And that brings us to 165 in a rematch from who's number 1 just a couple years ago that was wrestled at Iowa. They're wrestling at Penn State now. Pat Kennedy, Alex Facundo.
I like that Kennedy has that experience having beaten Facundo. Facundo, another guy for Penn State who just got a really nice win last weekend. He's up to number 5 in the rankings. I think Kennedy's going to figure out how to replicate that result from 2019, who's number 1. And I think Pat Kennedy puts 3 more on the board for Iowa.
He's got the experience. He won when they were in high school, but these are different wrestlers now. I think Facundo is going to find a way to get the edge this time, and I'm going 3 more for Penn State. You got things going for the Hawkeyes. I got a lot of blue here for Penn State. The next one, 174. Don't get ahead of ourselves. Nelson Brands for Iowa. He's the only guy listed in the probables, and Carter Starachi, number 1 for Penn State.
It's Starachi all day for me, and in a big match like this, can he get to bonus points? I don't know. I think Nelson Brands understands the assignment. I think Nelson Brands believes he can win this match, but I think he knows he needs to keep it close for that to happen, and definitely for the team score. So I think Starachi gets the dub. I think he gets a regular decision.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it conservative for the match score here as well. I got a lot of blue here, but I think Srirachi does it again. But Brands keeps it tight. He is as tough as they come on the mat, so just 3 more. But you know, a little bit more of a mismatch according to the rankings, but you throw those out in the middle of a dual meet. 184, we got another number 1 for Penn State. This is Murderer's Row here, their whole lineup. Both lineups are crazy. Aaron Brooks taking on Abe Assad. Assad trying to bounce back from last week, but Brooks, he has a loss this year from the collegiate duels, so it's not a complete impossibility that Brooks could take a loss. But what do you think?
Well, Aaron Brooks has, I think, maybe the best chance at bonus points in the lineup for Penn State. I think a major decision is in play. I think he can push for that, but I think Assad keeps it close. I think a lot of guys in this duel are going to understand like that's huge. So I'm going to go 3 for Aaron Brooks.
Yep, I'm also pretty confident that Brooks is going to get a win here. Some of these are more toss-ups, so I don't know if it's going to be exactly like that, but I do think Abe Assad's going to have motivation to keep it close, and Brooks gets just a 3-point decision there for the team score. And 197, another great one. Number 10, Jacob Warner, but he's a 2-time All-American. He's been ranked in the top 10 pretty much his whole career. Taking on number 2, Max Dean, defending national titleist, but he's taken a couple losses this season.
Yeah, both these guys have had a couple bumps in the road throughout the regular season. A couple losses for Dean that probably a lot of people didn't see coming. And Warner has, you know, he's had his ups and downs as well. It's an NCAA Finals rematch, and I think it goes the same way that it went last year. I think Dean wins this match in a close one. I think Max Dean puts 3 more on the board for Penn State.
You know, maybe I'm just thinking there's too much Penn State on here, and then Iowa's going to eventually take one too. I don't think it's probably going to go exactly like that, just best bet. So I've decided here. Now Warner gets one. He sneaks a win in on Max Dean. It's probably going to be real close, come down to the final seconds of that match. Would not be surprised there, which leads us to the final bout of this scheduled contest. Tony Cassiope, number 3, Greg Kirkley at number 2. They've wrestled many times before. They wrestled at the All-Star Classic, but that match doesn't count for seeding and rankings purposes, or for NCAA rankings anyway. How do you see this one going down this time?
Well, yeah, really, Kirkley was able to flip the script at the All-Star Classic because Cassiope had been 3-0 against him, and they were getting progressively closer, but Kirkley, I mean, he didn't like blow him out, but he found his way to multiple takedowns. If he can do that again, obviously Kirkley's got a very good chance of winning this match, but I just think Tony Cassiope's been wrestling really well, and Kirkley coming off a loss, I think this is the chance for Cassiope to really, try to get a guy while he's down maybe and get the win. So I think Cassiope can get this done.
Yeah, no doubt about it that this one is not settled yet. Cassiope certainly is going to be in the mix, but I'm going to have to go with what I saw at the NWCA All-Star Classic. I'm going with Kirkley again, but man, you never know. These heavyweights, they're both super high class, high talent, high caliber, so it could go either way, but for me, it's 3 for Kirkley, and now we have to do the fun part, math. So speed up as we calculate this, and we'll zip on to the end, and we'll have the final score here.
I got 21-12.
Yep, and I have the same thing except going the other way. So that just proves, man, this bout teeters on a precipice. It could go either way. We don't know what's going to happen. This is kind of best guess, but it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Penn State going to be the favorites, and even though I got Iowa winning, I have not a lot of confidence in these picks because it could really go either way. But crazy, it could go either way.
Yeah, look out! This is going to be the big thing. Spencer Lee setting the tone for the Hawks, and then they have to win. It's going to be these middleweights are going to decide these toss-ups here. Bravo Young is definitely the favorite there, but this is where the dual meet's going to be won or lost, right here in the center, and then you see what can happen. It's going to be, holding guys to decisions probably if it's close at that point. So every bout is crucial. Iowa needs to start things off with bonus point and their talismanic 125-pounder Spencer Lee, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
Friday night, baby. I can't wait.